All right, episode four. Episode four. All right, we're in a lake house. Our Thanksgiving break. We have a little bit of different episode today. We are like all together. We have reunion. Me and Hiroki right next to each other. We're gonna invite. Who we inviting, Hiroki?
Wikus Robbertse.
Wikus Robbertse. Wikus. He was our teammate for 4 years since freshman year, and we learn everything together. We grow up together, and we become a man all together. So we just so lucky to have him this year, this episode, and also reunion together. So I can see him actually. He's inside. So it's just gonna be a fun episode, and can't wait to hear what he's gonna talk about. Figuring it out podcast. All right, he's coming in. Wiki.
My audio.
Oh,
Wiki.
nice
We're gonna
background.
get it with the background as well.
Let's go in the background. Dude, how is it? How is it, Brad?
Fantastic, fantastic. How are you guys doing?
Doing good,
Good,
doing
good.
good. You look like you're in San Francisco right now.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Let's go with that, dude. Thanks for joining, man. We are exciting to have you here, and it's a pleasure to have you here,
No, of
man.
course. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Tell
I like
me,
I like this podcast idea that you guys are doing.
thanks a lot. Thanks. How is your reunion going? How is the
Been
reunion?
good. It's been good. We've been doing some fun stuff. So it's been very good. Good to see the guys as well. See everyone again. So it's been a lot of fun.
Love it. I love it, man. Thanks a lot. Like we're just doing this because like I think all of our stories are really important to listen from other people, and I think has some valuable lessons. I mean, we talk a lot this week. We talk a lot, and we have so many deep conversations, and I think it's definitely unique to share with our listeners. I
For
think
sure. With
I'm
the
pretty sure.
fans. With
Yeah,
the
I'm
fans, you got to keep the fans updated.
exactly. I'm pretty sure this episode's gonna listen the most. Wait, wait. Well, we're just gonna put in a timeline. Okay, so your timeline of where everything started. I mean, like you could talk about maybe more like how's your tennis career started, or like your how you develop your when did everything when the story started? Where did it started?
Yeah, for sure. So I started playing tennis when I was pretty young, probably at the age of 4. We had this kind of like these tennis coaches come to my what's it, kindergarten, and they would just do like ball skills with the kids there. And then because I grew up like kind of my parents kind of did well with like doing ball skills drills with me when I was growing up, I was doing pretty well with that. So then they said, oh, like I should come for tennis lessons. So that was around the age of 4 or 5. So then I went for tennis lessons, kind of just stuck in it. But I also played other sports like rugby, cricket, all these other things. But I kept on playing tennis. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. So did that throughout what they call it the elementary school, but for us it's primary school. So I played tennis, but I still played cricket and I still played rugby and all those sports. Then we were kind of looking for high schools in South Africa that's Afrikaans, which is the language that I speak, and that also has a good tennis program. That's sort of how I ended up at the high school where I ended up in Paul Roos, because they had a really good tennis program over there, and they sort of were a good academic school as well. So I ended up going there for high school, where tennis was like my main priority, but I still played cricket only for the first year because we kind of discovered that it takes up too much time. But then I started playing field hockey, which was a lot of fun too, and yeah, so I pretty much did all of that. And then I would say about ninth or 10th grade is when I started maybe seriously looking into playing college tennis because we've heard of some other people that maybe were a little bit older than me. We heard that they went over to the States and we're like, I mean, it sounds like a pretty good idea because the other thing is too, for at least from South Africa, like that's kind of the reason why you play tennis because a lot of the times you don't necessarily go pro. Because that's another thing, sort of to add to the timeline. So in elementary school, I was probably at my peak of tennis abilities, and I went to Canada for a like an international tournament. It was almost like a Davis Cup, but like a junior Davis Cup. It wasn't really that, but that's just the easiest way to explain it. So like we had two people from South Africa go, two people from the USA, two people from Canada, and other countries as well. And that's kind of where myself and my parents realized that South Africa is a pretty small country tennis wise. Like if you're good in South Africa, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be good on the world stage. So if you're like good in Europe, it's like okay, you might be good in the world stage, but if you're good in South Africa, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be able to turn pro. Yeah, for some people that's worked out, but I think that was like a good sort of moment in my career. It's like no, or like realizing like maybe I'm not doing this to go pro. Maybe I'm doing it maybe just to just develop different skills from it, but also sort of maybe use the opportunity to go to college and use that and sort of get a degree and see the world, yeah, from a different perspective as well. So that's kind of like how I ended up. Maybe not fixating on going pro, but more just maybe going the college route a little bit more. And then, yeah, then I did tennis up until the end of high school. I kind of took like an involuntary gap year is what I like to call it because I graduated high school in December of 2019. And I was supposed to come in the fall of 20, so I was supposed to come in August of 2020. But then with COVID and everything, I couldn't get my visa on time. So I ended up taking a full kind of gap year, if you want to say that. And then I started January of 2021 at Idaho State. So it was which was a great experience. I enjoyed my 4 years over there. So that's my timeline in a brief summary.
What a story. I kind of want to talk about before Ricky asks. Dude, I think you are the most multi-sport guy I've ever met. Like you are good at everything. You know, like uh cricket, you say rugby. How much did it help you in like let's say the playing tennis or or you're in college and then building your character? Like how much it helped you is just seeing different sports and being a multi-athlete, multi-sport
No,
athlete.
that's a great question. I think one of the things I enjoyed the most of maybe playing sports that wasn't tennis was the team aspect of it, which we had that a little bit with like tennis in high school, and you obviously have that a lot in college. But like before that, tennis is like very individual. So I really enjoyed kind of the team aspect of the other sports that I played. And I think another thing that's really good about playing different sports is it kind of develops different muscles in your body. Like you don't with tennis, it's you kind of use the same muscles the whole time. So that like develops pretty well, but then the other muscles might get neglected. Whereas if you play other sports, which I think helped me maybe not get injured as much. I don't know if it's that, but that's what I think. It's like because I played a bunch of other sports, so maybe some other muscles were maybe more developed than people that have just played tennis, or that just play tennis. I'm not saying that's the only reason, but I think that's one of the things too. But yeah, I really enjoyed kind of the team aspect of playing all of these other sports. But I do think too, if you are able to play tennis, it's easy to pick up these other sports, especially if it's like hand-eye coordination sports, like cricket, kind of like rugby, which is that's more like physical, but and like cricket, like field hockey. If you can play tennis, you can read the ball and you can kind of send it in a different direction and move your feet to get to where you need to go. So I think tennis was kind of like a good baseline to have. So for people that are not sure if they should take up tennis or soccer, I would always recommend tennis because if you can play tennis, you'll probably be able to play soccer or rugby or hockey or whatever it is.
Interesting. I think it depends on the person too, right?
Yeah,
Because
100%, yeah.
I can play tennis and I suck at pickleball.
Yeah, we saw that.
Exhibit A this morning.
Exhibit A this morning. So
Uh,
that's it.
yeah, I want to ask you about your consistency because I think you were probably one of the most consistent player along with Andy. Even during practice, you always bring the intensity, energy, and with I wouldn't say least amount of motivation, but maybe less than others because tennis wasn't necessarily your first priority, right? So, what kept you going when you have a bad day, for example?
That's a good question as well. I think one of the things that helped me was sort of the team aspect of it all because you don't want to kind of let the team down because if you have a bad practice, it kind of affects the whole team.
Mm,
So that's kind of the main reason why I never like really wanted to have a bad practice, or even if I did have a bad practice, not have it show as much. So I think that was like the main thing that I kept in the back of my mind is like Yeah, if I have a bad practice, that's obviously not good for me, but then it's also not good for the guy that I'm playing with. So it's kind of like the mentality that I try to go in with. It's not really about my practice. It's about the practice. Because you always, in tennis, you always need someone to play against. So if you aren't sort of bringing your, like holding up your end of the bargain, the other person's actually the one that's suffering. And then obviously in a practice, you don't play against one person only. You play against maybe three or four of your teammates. So it kind of affects
Mm.
three or four of the other guys on the team. So I think that's kind of the main thing that I try to go in. I wasn't always the best at it either though, because I know sometimes my motivation was kind of low and like I was kind of like over tennis sometimes a little bit as well. Which showed as well, and that kind of like affected the team negatively. But as much as I possibly could have, I tried to bring a positive attitude. It wasn't always the case, but I tried to like sort of yeah, kind of lift the team up in that sense.
Wow.
Yeah, Wiki. So you mentioned if we talk about like your 4 years, I think they all like have the different good good aspects of example. Like you did a lot of good things, and like that's like Erica mentioned one of them consistency, and then also, I mean, you mentioned you start in the spring, right? In your freshman year, you just fresh up freshman year, you just don't know anything about college, and then you came to the college and then after a couple weeks, maybe like 2 3 weeks, and you play your first match, like first college match. And how was your first semester as a freshman? Like what did you do good, or what did you like could have done better, and
Yeah, I
giving
think that was definitely it was definitely interesting that first semester because I can still remember that first well actually after the first practice I was like man I actually don't know how I'm gonna do this for 4 years. This was because I was like breathing so hard because I mean it's high altitude. It's like a way higher intensity that I was used to practicing at because I mean all well, pretty much everyone was there for the whole fall so they kind of like already knew what to expect. I came in, I thought it was going to be pretty standard. I was like, man, this is pretty intense. So it kind of took me a little bit of time just to adapt. The first semester it was pretty good. I think I learned a lot, especially because I was struggling in the beginning, just when I arrived, kind of like not necessarily just on the tennis court, but also struggling like, oh, like was this the right decision coming? Pretty much coming halfway across the planet to sort of sacrifice everything back home to do this, and now I'm not even playing. Now I'm not even sort of maybe using the opportunity. So I think that first semester was really hard in that sense. Just I feel like I grew a lot in that semester, but just like in all aspects, kind of like maybe also noticing like yeah, I'm probably not going to be the best. Like because I mean in high school I was like playing number one or two for like 2 or 3 years, and now I come in, I'm not even playing number six, I'm playing number seven, so it's which is not even in the lineup. So I think that first semester was really hard, but I really appreciate the whole team, sort of everyone was very supportive of that. It was because it could have been easy for the other guys to just say, oh, like you aren't good enough, we're just gonna push you out. But like everyone, like including the two of you, like Ege, you and like Hiroki, and that was still with Pat and Petrovic and Jaime and Gary, kind of all of them, like including me, because I was new and I technically didn't like go through like the hell of the fall, like practicing a ton and everything. So I really appreciated that from the team, kind of like still including me in all the things and making me feel a part of the team, even though I wasn't in the lineup in that first few weeks. So
and then you clinch many matches in your freshman year, man. Like I mean,
yeah, I mean,
uh,
I think I got a little lucky on some of them. Because I can still remember the Grand Canyon match where
oh,
Yeah.
I mean, that was like the main one because I think it was like 3-all in the third set, and then it started raining. And I can still remember I called my dad, and it was like 2 a.m. in the morning there because with the time difference. I called my dad. I was like, "Oh, yeah, I just wanted to call you. Like, it's like 3-all in the third set. I'm gonna clinch." Like, he was like still so asleep, he didn't even really know what I was saying. And then yeah, because that was like kind of the first experience was like, oh, like this is like what college is about, you know? Um, and yeah, it's kind of just like having the whole team supporting and everything. And I think one thing that was really good too, and I want to give you kind of your credit here, where it's due, is like because you didn't play in the lineup at that point, and like you did really well, and still like supporting me in that time. Whereas like we kind of like switched positions and you still did really well in supporting me and making me feel like I deserve to be in there, which I think is something that people that come in sort of as freshmen is like that's pretty hard to do because I mean you come in as a junior, you expect that you should be playing the whole time. And then when you aren't playing, sort of having that humility and knowing like it's not really about you, it's about the team and whether the team wins is the most important thing. It's obviously nice if you can win, but it's better if the team win. And that's one thing that I really noticed, especially at that trip, because in a sense that kind of like wasn't to your benefit that I if I win, because I mean if I clinch, it's kind of like then I'll probably play the next match and the next match. But what I really saw in that time was like, even though it's not to your benefit, you still supported me in that and wanted the best for the team. So that's if I could give any advice to the new freshman coming in, it's like be more like Ege in that sense, where it's not really about you. It's more about the team and having the team do better, because then everyone will just be better.
Yeah, I think that time Jaime we talked about in the first episode as well, and then they were like telling me and tell all of us, especially like this is not just a one match or like just the one season, and let's become like we become brothers, like, and
Mm,
he was telling me that a lot, and I think that time what helped us the most, like being that so close to each other, and that actually built our foundation of our friendship,
exactly.
who we are, like where we are now, like it's
Yeah.
on a reunion and then 6 years later and talk
Yeah,
about
exactly. It's
these
crazy to
good
think that
memories.
it's crazy to think that it's like 5 or 6 years later already.
Five,
I
six years
know.
later, we're talking about these memories nonstop for the whole
Yeah.
week in our Thanksgiving break. So just this is all about. And yeah, man, I mean, exactly. So freshman comes in and they just thought like, okay, like just they just don't know. I feel like what's their value, and then like Patty talk about like what their value, what's important that now that kind of help them build this team aspect. I think also
Yeah.
doesn't matter like 7 or 6.
I think it's also having a good balance in between too,
Yeah.
because I feel like most college players, when they decide to come to the US, they most of them probably want to go pro after
Mm.
graduate, you know. So obviously in the beginning, like the whole purpose is for themselves, you know.
Yeah, 100%.
They
Yeah.
want to get better, but
Which
then
is fair as well, honestly.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
but
fair.
then you're gonna have a bad day, and that's when I think they should be able to switch into more of like a team
Mm.
mindset, where you mentioned, you know, okay, I'm doing it for the team, you know, not just for myself.
Yeah.
So I think having that
Good
good
balance.
balance, especially if you're a freshman, is I think very, very important,
Yeah.
because you don't want to look back and say, "Oh man, you know, I was so selfish."
Yeah. I think that's one probably like my biggest regret from college, or like at least like the tennis part of it. It's like kind of not always appreciating that I get to play tennis. A lot of the times it kind of felt like a chore more than anything else, where like some people would just like give everything to be able to be on a like on a college team, where I feel like sometimes I kind of took that for granted. And then like once you finish, it's like, man, that was actually like the good times, you know? Like I would do anything just to, like have that like one more week of like doing that, like traveling one more week, going to Jimmy John's one more time with the team.
Yeah, that's why I feel like our senior year we had a great year, because
Mm,
everyone kind of realized before the season ends that,
yeah,
you know, this is the last year we're gonna play together, and everyone was all in, you know, very focused
yeah.
winning conference. And I think you were, I mean, I clinched a few times, but you also clinched a few times.
No,
So
I mean you
yeah.
stole my shine every match.
Did you have any like routines and stuff to like kind of keep yourself calm and relaxed on those tight moments?
Like within the match or kind of before the match?
Both.
Within the match. Like, okay, you're in tight moment, tight. Like it's like 3-all, third set, you're playing.
Yeah.
What do you do? What's gonna help you to win that match?
That's a good question because I feel like one thing that I tried to do was you know when you like try and like breathe in, but like you take like that extra breath in because that kind of like helps. It's like an extra deep breath. That sometimes helped me a little bit. To maybe relax the nerves for a few extra seconds. Um, I think because it's kind of a tricky question because there's so much like pressure that you put on yourself as well because you don't want to let the team, and obviously you don't want to lose either, but it's kind of like if you lose then it's like because of you because I've been on both ends of like the clinch. I've been on the winning side, but I've also been on the losing side
Mm,
twice, and that's not a great feeling
yeah.
either. So what did I do? I think maybe trying to go like just point for point, not worrying too much because from what if I think back on it now, like the times where I lost the clinch matches was mostly because I was thinking of the future too much. I mean, Ege, we spoke about it, what, 2 days ago, where it was against Portland State, where I lost the clinch match. And when I broke it 3-1 in the third set, I really kind of thought that I won. So I was already thinking about maybe what my celebration is going to be at the end, maybe what what I'm going to do at the end. Yeah, exactly. But I think kind of just in the ones where I was on the winning side of it, I just focused on the next point. I didn't necessarily focus on what's going to happen 3 games down the line or
Mhm.
2 games down the line. It's just like, okay, what can I do? What can I do this next point that will put me in the best position to win it? Okay, if I'm serving, let's make the first serve. If I'm returning, let's just make the return at least, make him play. Because that's the thing too. It's like it's a high pressure for both people.
Mhm.
It's they also are feeling the pressure. So if you can make them play, they might not miss, but they also might because they might be feeling the pressure as well.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
100%.
I mean, Vicky, so kind of talk about, okay, your teammate, you supporting your teammate, you putting your team first. But I feel like I want to kind of talk about and get your thoughts about when we have like started playing our best, when we kind of push each other, right? That's like
Mm,
creating those small rivalries. And I feel like what helped me a lot to get the better level because I was like, okay, Vicky's in front of me. If I play like one bad match, he's gonna take my spot. But I mean, depends on the coaches and it changes a little bit. But I mean, like that helps me a lot to push my limits. Okay, like push my limits. I practice harder. Like try to beat you in the practice, but not like
yeah.
that's a good thing. Like competition.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah.
Same with Hiroki. I mean, same with like Andy. Like want to beat him all the time. Because
Mm,
that guy's way too good. He wins all the time. I don't want it. And then also like for him as well. Like he doesn't want to probably feel like yeah, I'm always winning. I'm not getting pushed. Like push each other. So what do
yeah.
you think about like what's the drawing those line between like way too competitive? I want to beat,
Yeah.
but like but also help each other to push those limits.
That's a good question because I feel like it's especially hard for like that number six position, maybe the number five position, and that's kind of like where coaches where like I'm glad I'm not a coach because I think that's like kind of a headache that coaches have to deal with because I think if you kind of have that expectation of the number six player, let's say in this example, like the number six player, like if you don't win, you're out. Then that's impossible for the guy to play like stress free. So he's probably not going to play his best tennis. But it's also, okay, how many chances am I going to give this guy? Which I feel like in my junior year, I was given too many chances
Yeah.
because I lost the whole time. Again, I'm thankful that I got all those chances, but I can understand kind of like someone that wasn't playing at that point being like, I mean, what more do I have to do? I mean, this guy is not winning. So yeah, I don't know. I think the competition is good to kind of like push it, but it is, I think as a coach, again, I'm not in coaching, so I don't really know the answer to it, but I feel like it's, it's like you have to have that balance of where it becomes like healthy competition and when it just kind of becomes toxic because no one wants to like really be that guy that's not playing. Um, and then if it kind of becomes this like toxic relationship of like, oh, like if you beat him in practice, then you're gonna play. It's like, okay, but then if I beat someone that was playing like higher up in the lineup, why am I not playing higher up in the lineup? So it's kind of like maybe it's the way that some coaches phrase it, or I don't know the exact answer, but I think healthy competition is good, and I think that's what we really got right in our senior year
Mhm.
was we were all, I mean, it kind of helped that especially like bottom lineup players like were winning as well. So it's not like there was a reason to take us out either.
Mhm.
But I think we kind of like knew in practice, okay, everyone's gonna do their best, practice as hard as they can because everyone wants to beat the other guy. But it's not like you're gonna lose your spot in the lineup if you
Mm.
lose once in practice.
Yeah. Well,
So that kind of helped you play stress-free in a way.
A little bit, yeah, in a sense, like not kind of like constantly looking over my shoulder,
Yeah.
wondering like, oh, am I going to lose it? But then it also becomes a thing like, okay, if you lose like 3 or 4 times, maybe against people that you shouldn't lose to,
Right.
maybe then let's reevaluate as the coach. Let's reevaluate. Maybe let's give this other guy a chance. But also, when you give him the chance, don't say win this game or you're out again.
Mm.
mhm.
Give him maybe 1 or 2 games just to like get into it. Because
Yeah.
that's what happened to me in my second year. Like I didn't play for like pretty much the whole season. And then we played against Montana State, who had a really good team at that point. And I was kind of like, because I was like kind of like asking, was like, okay, when am I going to play? Because I'm doing well in practice, I'm doing all this, but I didn't have any like actual match experience at that time in that season. And then it was kind of like, okay, you're in, win it or you're out again. So I was like, okay. Then I lost, so I was out again. But which I mean is understandable too, because like they were like 2 or 3 good guys like coming from behind as well. But I just felt like maybe 1 or 2 more opportunities would have been appreciated.
Mm. Vicky, since you mentioned stress, what was the most stressful moment in your 4 years in Idaho State?
Oof. I like
Wow,
that.
that's a good
Was it University of Utah when when you played against Ege 3 sets
Oh,
the
what's
day
the
before
most
the match?
stressful part?
But my first week there when
Yeah.
when he said whoever wins this game goes play. What was the most stressful time? I think probably probably that Montana State match, I would say, was one of the most stressful ones. Um, yeah, and then sophomore year because that was the clinch and that would have been a really good win for us. So maybe that one I would say. Uh, what else? I'm trying to think. That one was pretty stressful. Portland State, I don't know. I didn't even think I was gonna lose, and then I ended up losing anyway. So that wasn't like that stressful. Um, yeah, I would say probably that was probably one of the most stressful ones. Maybe St. Mary's, that was pretty stressful as well. Because
Oof.
I don't think anyone expected us to win that one.
Yeah,
And
I think so. Yeah.
then I was like playing 3 sets and like, oh, like it wasn't up to me, but it was kind of was. Like if I lost, like it would have come down to like another match.
Yeah, because you won 5-2, right? That day.
4-2, we played clinch clinch.
4-2, 4-2, yeah. Because you
Yeah.
won,
Okay.
Andy won,
Uh-huh.
I
Yes.
won, and Vicky, you won because we lost.
Yes.
Well, no, we won the doubles point.
I actually can't remember, but I think it was like kind of those two.
Mhm.
That I felt like I was like, oh my goodness, I'm so stressed right now. Um, but yeah,
Well,
so I think
okay, what about you? What was your most stressful moment?
Most stressful moment. Mm, Probably when I had a meeting with Coach Alex in my freshman year. We played against Eastern Washington and we played doubles. I played doubles with Ege
Oh,
and I d- I don't remember exactly, but I didn't poach or something. And then coach said something. I say, I know what to do. And then we had a big meeting after the match. And I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna get cut.
I
But yeah, I was young and stupid.
I
what
think
about yours, Ege? What was yours?
mine is like I remember two, that Eastern Washington match because I did four double faults. And
Oh, I remember that. I mean, honestly, that's fair enough because that lighting was so bad in that place.
yeah, like I was like really stressful the freshman year, try to get chance to get in the lineup, like not playing my best tennis. And finally like got the chance. I'm in. And then I just watching, I don't know, the game started to get so tight. I feel like we all were like kind of losing. even Petrovic was losing against like the
Yeah,
team in the
I
conference.
remember that.
And I did one double fault. I was like, shit, okay, another double fault. And and I think someone like Hiroki said something, but like I just cannot remember because I was so stressed. And I did four double faults in a row. Guess what? After that, 2 months in the practice, I think I served
I remember that. Yes,
every single day.
every
Every
time we
single
were
day. You guys
outside.
were playing points. We were odd numbered that year. I was on the far court for 2 months. I
No,
was
I
like,
remember.
I think after that, I never got a chance. Yeah,
In that
after that,
season, yeah, in that season,
yeah,
no.
after that, I never got a chance. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, that was the most like first. And then the second, I feel like our last match, conference match against Sacramento, but in a
Oh,
good way.
at the tournament?
Yeah, at the tournament, like in a good way, because like that one in the
Yeah.
I was like so stressful, couldn't perform. Like I was like frozen. So, that was I think the first time I was feeling that pressure playing,
Mm,
and then the last match against Sacramento, that was like because the same thing happened our freshman year. That was what if you win, you have another match. If you
yeah.
lose, that's lost. That's your last.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, okay, this is your last match. Whatever you put, you get out of it. And then
Yeah.
it was actually like really like that pressure that day. Okay, we can make a history. We can like we were close to Sacramento. We know this team. Like, we could beat it. I was pretty stressful that way. That morning, like all these like warm up and everything. I remember like we went to sing the national anthem. Outside like I was
Yeah.
shaking there. I was literally
Yeah.
shaking there. And then played a good match. So that was, I think that was that that was the sorry, that was the best doubles. I think like the most stressful doubles I ever played. What do you think? Like that semester, I think, because the last
Okay.
match.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's like that whole conference tournament is like kind of stressful,
Yeah.
especially if it's your senior year, because like you don't know if this is gonna be your last one or not. Um, because
Yeah.
even like because I was pretty stressed for that, like the Sacramento one, but even the Montana one before that,
Yes.
because I mean, if you lose that one, you're also out. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like, but I
That
think it's like once you just get into the groove of it, it's like it's fine. Like you kind of like figure it out.
Yeah, Wiki. So now we graduated, man. So like now I like to also talk about all my teammates because we are all going to different direction right now, right? Like me and Hiroki, we're in coaching, and Andy with the academia, and then you're with accounting. So the things that you learn in college, like how those apply to what you're doing right now. Like talk to me about what you're doing now, and also what things you learn in college applies to your career direction right now.
So kind of like what I learned from the tennis aspect of college, or just like college in general.
Anything about like any college. I mean, the more like
Right.
let's talk about team,
Yeah.
but you
I
learn
think
accounting
so.
how.
Yeah, so I'm finishing up my graduate school right now. So I'm finishing in like 2 weeks. So I'm pretty much done.
Mhm.
And then I'm gonna, well,
What did you do
hopefully
your master? What did you do your masters in?
a master's in accounting. So
Accounting.
I did my master's in accounting. So I'm hoping to kind of get a job somewhere in the Northeast. Hopefully hear about that soon. But I know we've been talking about that. But I think some of the stuff that I've learned that's helped me the most is it's it's kind of like more about the relationships that you build like along the way. And you shouldn't always, because I struggle with this a lot, kind of like looking into the future way too much, and then you kind of like miss the present.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, that's kind of like one of the things I would say I learned the most if I like think back on it. But then kind of like more on a technical side of it, I think one thing that helped me a lot from college then is like the time management of it.
Mhm.
Like you need to know, okay, we're going on a trip this weekend. I have a project due the Monday after. Let me start earlier for this project so I can like get it done. And I think if for any new like freshmen coming into college, if you can manage that or kind of like get that under the belt pretty quickly, you should be fine. Because that's kind of the hardest thing to do, just to manage your time and make sure that you get all the projects. Because there's like it adds up after a while. Like in freshman year, it's probably not that bad, but once you
Were you,
start getting a little bit further
were
along.
you ever late to practice? No, right? I think
No, no, but that's one of my pet peeves. I hate being late. Like I cannot
so.
stand being late. So I was never late. Or at least I tried not to be. Maybe I was like
In
late
four
once,
years.
but
Oh, 4 years. Yeah, you're
That's a
never
crazy.
been late.
yeah. But I hate being late. Like anyway, whether it be practice or just anything else. Like I just cannot
Twice.
stand being late.
Yeah, we were late a
Twice.
couple times.
Yeah, we had twice. One is like freshman year weight session, 6 a.m.
Oh
I remember
yeah.
I walked in like 6:01,
Mm.
and we like Jaime was so mad. I think we both were late, and you ran in front of me, and then you walked in like 5:58 or 5:59. I walked in
Yeah.
6:01.
Okay.
And and then the second one was the Portland State game. Do you remember before the Portland State? We would have George Fox that week. George
Yes.
Fox and Portland State. And then
Yes.
we both stepped through, and then you guys were all like ate breakfast and then waiting in the car downstairs.
Oh yes, I do remember that.
And
Yes.
then you guys
Yeah.
like roll out. And then you guys bang our door like, hey,
Oh yeah, 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 I do remember.
I think that was the second time. That was the second time, right? Have you ever?
Yeah, I think those two. Yeah.
I mean,
Uh,
that's also not. I mean, that's not terrible. Twice
Never
in
again.
yeah.
4 years is not too bad.
Never again. After that, that was my pet peeve as well. Like even right now, I hope I'm not gonna lay in this anyone anything in this Georgia Southern job, but I feel like those two like actually never gonna happen. Like that's my pet peeve as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I don't like it at all.
Oh my man. So Vicky, what's next for you? So what's the what? So you're looking for a job, and what's the future plans for you? If you just like objectively tell us before we
Yeah,
go
so
out.
I mean, like in the direct future, I'm hoping to pass my CPA exams pretty soon, like within the next like 6 months. So I'm hoping to get that done. I'm hoping to start a job in Philadelphia, probably. Well, I'll be in New York City from January until like around April. I'll do like an internship again there. And then I'm hoping to start full time in Philadelphia, which will hopefully that'll work out. Then we'll kind of see where it takes me from there. I'm not too sure, but I feel like there's like so much uncertainty
Mhm.
at the moment. Well, I feel like honestly, as an international student, there's like just uncertainty the whole time.
Yeah, the whole
Like
time.
from when you arrive, which in a sense I think is maybe something I could add to what I learned from college as well, is just like how to deal with the uncertainty.
Mhm.
And it's not like you're not always gonna know exactly what's gonna happen, but I also don't think you should, because that kind of takes the fun out of it a little bit. I think I think I spoke to my parents the other day, and I was like, I actually don't know like what I'm gonna do if I like have a fixed job and I know exactly what's gonna happen. Because now I've been used to it for like the last 4 or 5 years, just like not knowing really what's gonna happen, so you try and like figure it out, which is it's like it's kind of stressful, but it's pretty exciting sometimes too, because you are in charge of like your own destiny, in a sense. So yeah, that's kind of like what's next, at least for the foreseeable future. So we'll kind of see how that works out, and then I feel like the rest of the stuff's like kind of out of my hands as well, like with immigration and all of that. You don't really know, so you kind of just have to like take it one day at a time and do your best, and maybe try and put yourself into the into the situations that you want to have, and then if it pops up, if the opportunity pops up, then you're ready to take it.
Oh, that's what we do. We
Exactly,
figure
exactly.
out.
Yeah, you guys are figuring it out. So I think this is great, like this podcast that you guys have as well, kind of to maybe help us share, like people that's been through it, um, like share their experiences and try and help the next generation. Because that's one thing I know you mentioned it in your guys' previous podcast as well. It's like I feel like Gary, like especially Gary. I know Keegan wasn't on the team, but I feel like he helped me a lot as well, especially with the South African connection. Like Gary, Keegan, Jaime, Pat as well. I mean, he wasn't a senior my freshman year, but I spent 2 years with him. Well, I lived with him for a year. I think just like the advice that they gave us was like very helpful, kind of like helping us to figure out and to kind of like navigate our way in the US. Because I mean, I assume you guys were the same, but you kind of come here, you don't really know that many people. It's nice that you have like the team, which is like a built-in friend group. And then, I mean, we were fortunate enough that we actually liked our teammates, so we kind of like stuck with the friend group, but that helped a little bit. But I think it's still good to like have those older guys show us the way.
Yes.
And maybe like, okay, this is what you do to like buy a car. This is what you do. This is where you go shop for groceries. This is what you do to like open up a credit card. This is what you do to do this and this and this. So I
Oh,
think
exactly.
so I think that's kind of like maybe for the seniors on the teams, to like sort of like take that responsibility, because someone had to teach them at some
Hmm.
point. And unless they're American. I feel like if they're American, they kind of like they were born into it, so they really need.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, trust me, even the American, they still need those things.
okay.
Experience that right now. You reckon you have any last questions before we end this? Can be
Gotta,
can be funny as
yeah,
well.
gotta make it fun, no?
Yeah, like last time with Patty Kun.
Another fun question.
Wiki, what was your go-to meal before the match?
Oh.
Go-to meal before the match. Like, what do you like? Like, which store you like when we go to before the match?
I mean,
Or
Seabass will probably get a heart attack if I say this, but I mean, I used to love corn dogs my sophomore year. Corn dogs were that was my go-to food, but I got off the diet after after the one semester. Um, like what restaurant that we went to
yeah, like any chain, like before the match. Where you like to go before the match? And I'm okay with after the match as well. Uh,
after the match as well. I mean, Panda was always the best for like value of money. Like I always felt very full
Yeah,
afterwards. I kind of liked when we would get Olive Garden kind of
yeah,
like catered to the hotel. Because then you can kind of choose like from different types of pasta. I actually really like that. We only did that maybe once or twice.
Yeah.
well, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I really like that. Trying to think. I mean, Costa Vida was just always a classic.
of
That
course.
was like after practice. I never really got that before the match because there was so much food, but Costa Vida was just unmatched. I loved Costa Vida. That was my favorite memories from freshman year was like after practice every day, well, every Friday, we would go to Costa Vida.
Oh,
Everyone would just sit there, chat it up. That was the best. And then we kind of like switched it over to Pizza Pie. What was it?
$10.
Junior year?
Yeah.
Yeah, the ten
Yeah.
dollars.
Yeah, because we had to save some money. I mean,
But Costa Vida that was the move.
Costa Vida was fire, yeah.
I'm missing
That was
Costa
good.
Vida. I'm missing Costa Vida.
No, same,
All right,
same.
Wiki. Appreciate it, man.
Of
Thanks for
course.
joining. Thanks for
Of course.
joining.
No, thanks for having me on and yeah, thanks for
Uh,
having this podcast as well. It's a really good idea.
see you, bro.
Yeah, see ya.